What's up everyone? Welcome to this inaugural episode of Song Quirks, and the quirky song we're talking about today is called Heaven Can Wait by Iron Maiden. Heaven Can Wait is the fourth song off of Maiden's 1986 album, Somewhere in Time, and it was written by the band's bassist and main songwriter, Steve Harris. This is quite a unique album in Maiden's output, mainly because of the use of guitar synths, but what makes the song quirky isn't necessarily the fact that it has synths on it, because that was kind of the thing in the 80s, but the relationship between the vocal melody and the underlying harmony. I mean, just listen to this. Okay, so the melody sounds like this. And on its own, it's a decent melody. It's not dissonant in any way, and it's something you'd expect for something like this. But let's also listen in isolation to the underlying chord progression. So again, in isolation, it sounds good, but if you listen to them together again, you'll get this. In this section of the melody, in the third repetition, you get this dissonance between the F sharp of the vocal melody, which is still in D major, and this F, which is the root of the chord. So everyone in the band is playing an F major chord, but the singer is still singing a D major arpeggio that has that F sharp. And together it sounds weird. So what exactly is happening there? I mean, Bruce Dickinson, the singer, is singing in D major, but the rest of the band seems to move away from that. You get that D major chord, and then in the guitars you go to a C major, which, okay, can be thought of as a Mixolydian move, with the melody still doing that D major arpeggio, but then, bam, you're on an F major chord. That makes absolutely no sense in the context of the D major scale. So what's happening? Basically, you're kind of borrowing from the D minor scale in a way. You have that F major, which is the third of the D minor, which is the relative minor. And then you go to a G major. So again, that doesn't make sense. It's not in D major. That acts as the 4 of D major, and you're back in D major. And going to the solo, you go from that G major to an E minor. So now that G major becomes the 3 of the next key. And this is actually not the first time this happens in the song. In the verse, you start off with a D major section, which sounds like this. And then you get the B flat major as a chord in the guitar part, which sounds like this. So you're going from 6 to 7 of D minor, and it sounds like this. So what's happening is you take the 6 and the 7 from the minor scale, but finish off the melody in major. And even though the band isn't necessarily playing a C major chord, that riff that happens here actually signals the use, at least theoretically, of a C major chord, which is the 7th of the next D major scale as a Mixolydian. So you're kind of implying a Mixolydian scale, but then you're kind of borrowing a bit from the D minor scale. It's a quirky song. So this is kind of how I explain this to myself, because otherwise it doesn't really make that much sense. Why would you have that F sharp melody? and the vocal line, and then have everyone else in the band play an F major. There's something quirky happening there, and the fact that the singer is still in D major, but the band is kind of in a D minor inflection, and then you go back to D major, just makes that section extremely jarring, but at the same time extremely interesting to listen to. Thanks a lot for watching this first episode. I intend to do many more, and I have a bunch of songs I want to talk about. If you have suggestions, let me know in the comments below and I'll make sure to make an episode on it. But in the meantime, have a listen to Heaven Can Wait and have a listen to the entire album. Summer in Time is just amazing. Until next time, Heaven Can Wait.